The chairman of the full committee, the gentleman from Kentucky, for 5 minutes for his opening statement.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for bringing us together for this important hearing. Thanks for all of our witnesses for being here. As you know, we're here in the wake of the tragic floods of Texas, and our hearts have been heavy for Representative Pfluger, who sits next to me, and Representative Carter, who had children and grandchildren at the camp who are fortunately okay, but they lost friends, and Representative Carter's grandchildren lost their cousin on the other side of his family, and it's just a heart-wrenching time, and our prayers are still out for these families, and it's just, but this tragedy highlights the importance of the hearing we have today and the communication infrastructure that we need in desperate moments like these. And we may take 911 for granted. As a matter of fact, if anybody's ever heard Robert Adderholt say this, in 1968, the first 911 call was placed in Haleyville, Alabama. I'm not sure why Haleyville, Alabama chose to be the first place to do it, but they did. And before that, you had to look up the sheriff or the police officer or the hospital number in a phone book. Those of us old enough to remember phone books. And now the single three-digit number improves the response times and saves lives. So I think Robert was 2 or 3 years old, so think of how far the world's come in Robert Adderholt's lifetime. And it's just not that long ago. I mean, I know he's a little older than he wants to be, but it's not that long ago that we really had that this was implemented. And so since that first call, the technology has really changed, but it's changing exponentially now. And next generation 911 is becoming more common at call centers around the country, which means faster and more prepared emergency responses, including enhanced location accuracy. I remember when I first got here, we were talking about this the first time, that somebody in a hotel room's mom, some domestic abuse, and a child called 911, knew to call 911, and they were little, but couldn't tell them which room they were in. So the police showed up to a hotel, but didn't have any idea which room to go to. So I know that is get even better with this type of where we are with next generation. So regardless of what type of technology or which service providers first responders use, it is critical that their communication tools work reliable in the moment of need. My whole state of Kentucky has dealt with flooding and tornadoes in recent months, and my district dealt with the same just a few years ago, including my neighbors behind me. The tornado missed my house by about 100 yards. And so I've seen firsthand how access to reliable communications and having first responders that show up when you need it is extremely, extremely important. And it helps those in need. But before I wrap up, I have to take a second to thank Kate Harper as well, Kate O'Connor Harper as well. She's been a valuable member of the team, always pleasant, always, and one of the smartest people you'll deal with maybe in all spaces, but certainly in telecommunications, and it's just been a pleasure to work with. And my daughter has moved to Chicago, so I always enjoy her Chicago accent. And the fact that she's going to work for a company, I don't know if we can say or not, but the company that has a hard O and a hard A in the title, it's fun to hear her say where she's going to work. So anyway, that's thanks a lot, Godspeed, and you mean a lot to this committee, and I look forward to working with you in your new endeavor. And Mr. Chairman, I yield back.